What it do, man? We're back again. The Grounded Show, episode 125. Man, going strong. And today we got the special guest, Jordany.
Yo,
Like,
yo.
low key, man, he been part of the how do I say this? He been part of the energy and the vibes of the group, like from a distance. And then like little by little we've been having like studio sessions and stuff. And it's just been getting more vibey by the session. It's crazy because when me and him started recording, I was like, "Yo, you you gotta understand that this is gonna take a little bit of time. You know what I mean? Like you gotta build it up.
Yep.
You gotta find your sound. You gotta find what you like, even your process and everything. And a lot of people don't make it past that beginning stage. Like
Yeah.
if they don't make a hit in the first, one or two sessions, they get discouraged. But man, you stuck through it, and we had some pretty dope sessions recently, and we're actually gonna drop some music. It's gonna be dope, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fire.
Yeah, man. But we're gonna get right into it, man. We just passed game one of the NBA Finals, man, and everybody thought it was about to be a molly whopping of epic proportions. They thought OKC was gonna wipe the floor with the Pacers. Me and you actually talked about it before. I felt like OKC was gonna win, but I felt like the Pacers were gonna make it real interesting, like
Right.
make it like a 6 or 7 game series. But I did think OKC was gonna win. What was your prediction before the series?
For me, I think Indiana got it. One, I'm kind of rooting for the underdog. I'm not gonna lie. But I definitely thought Indiana got it because one, obviously throughout the playoffs, they've played a lot of tough games and they've won a lot of tough games. A lot of games that they really shouldn't have won. So that gives you a lot of confidence going into the finals. So kind of going in with all of that confidence, they never really feel out of it, and they do it. They do it, especially that last game, that game one. They did a great job of keeping the game close. Keep the game close enough. A few missed shots, the game gonna change.
Yeah, man. Specifically about that game one, when I seen it from the tip off, seeing them together on the floor, Indiana and OKC, I just like the matchup, bro. I saw how everybody kind of looked against each other. People be forgetting, man. Indiana's deep, and they
Yeah.
got athletic people on their team, bro.
Yeah.
Like Obi Toppin is no scrub. Y'all seen he did some damage, 5 threes. You know what I'm saying? He was out there just being aggressive, and like I said, bro,
Yep.
he's big dude, athletic.
Yep.
That kind of dude is always gonna be useful on the court, bro. 3 and D guy to the max, yo. Hey, yo. But yeah, man, I really thought just off rip, dang, the Pacers really match up with Indiana. I mean, Pacers really match up with OKC.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that in the beginning, Carlisle was doing a lot of like what they call like hockey bench clearouts. You know what I'm saying? Where they like have the whole fresh five come in and take out all the people that's in.
Yep.
And it kind of seemed like he was definitely bracing for a long game and expecting it to go down to the wire, which
Yeah.
the way he was coaching.
Yeah.
And one last thing I wanted to say is it was crazy how much OKC changed their regular game plan in that game. Like
Yeah.
everybody noticed it off rip. Like, oh man, Hartenstein's not in the starting lineup.
Yep.
They went small. They went small down the end of the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was definitely something that made you scratch your head. And even though you really could say it paid off because they were stifling them and they really had that game in the bag.
Yeah.
They just really let it go. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say that they played wrong or played bad.
Right.
It was a crazy game, man. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
The one thing is like, especially like with game ones traditionally, especially like when you're really paying attention, that's when the coaches try a lot of different things. So you'll see a lot of weird stuff. Obviously that felt really funky, but a lot of times they'll try to, the game one is usually a toss up. So they'll try certain stuff, see what work, and they'll see if they'll like it, and then that way they know if they can use it later. Sometimes that's why you saw Rick Carlisle doing his whole big switch, see what energy he can probably grab and things like that. It's game one.
Yep.
This is a time to try different things. You don't want to be trying different things. But by game three, you want to kind of have the other group figured out. And by throwing different things out there, it just keep it interesting, and it kind of makes it to where by game two, they got to really take a look and really get into film to really make sure that they on point.
Yeah, and Carlisle's a dude that's super seasoned, been to plenty of finals. Twice as a head coach, once as an assistant coach. So it's one of those things where he knows you don't know what to expect from your players game one just because finals, nerves. His team right now is real young, so he definitely don't know what to expect. So like you said, let me throw these guys out there, see who looks comfortable, see what's working, see what lineups I like.
Yeah.
One of the big details that I actually got hip to after the fact was the Nemhard and Shea connection as far as Team Canada goes. You know what I mean? And Lou Dort as well. But just as far as being on opposite teams,
Yeah.
you think about, them team, them country practices and those runs and those games that they play in the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's high level basketball. So
Yeah.
they're playing pretty much like to the level of like what they do in the NBA.
Yeah.
So these dudes have seen each other at like
For
the
years.
top competitive form. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And it was almost like one of those things where people were kind of surprised, like, dang, Nemhard is really just going at Shea. And even though Shea had his points,
Right.
it took him 27 shots to do it, I believe. I think it was 27, but
Right. Something like that.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he had 38, but 27 shots.
You gotta go get it.
And you missed the one that counted.
Yeah.
And Nemhard made the one that counted. Obviously Haliburton was the one that hit the game winner, but Nemhard set that up for sure with
Yeah.
just a crazy heat check. Like, I don't even, bro, he was just like, man, I'm going to just take this shot, dog.
Yeah.
That was crazy, man.
Yeah, he probably comfortable because obviously, like, especially when they play for those countries, they play together for years. It's not like they're getting together once a year for extended periods of time. So he's comfortable playing against them. That's like he probably knows Shea's game. He's comfortable. It's not like he's playing against just like somebody else. It's not like he's playing against Russ, who he kind of has to figure out. He already kind of knows Shea, and he's already kind of confident.
Yeah.
So it keeps it. I think that little connection of being able to see it is going to make the matchup that much better.
Yeah. It's definitely, I like the matchups. I like the teams. A lot of people were kind of groaning that this ended up being the finals, but to me, they were, and obviously in the playoffs, the best teams. It's insane that Haliburton got a game winner in each round, bro. That's dog. Man.
He's going crazy.
It's crazy, man. Like they really, like, right now the big conversation is he a superstar? Is he not a superstar? Like, they trying to put him on whatever tier list. And it's so funny to me because a lot of these people on these analyst shows and stuff, they value winning so much, and they're always talking about the ring. They're always talking about you finishing the job or whatever. He's finishing. He's literally clutching up in the most historical way possible every round, making sure it gets done underdog every round. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, y'all are trying to now say, oh, are you a superstar or not? Before y'all was saying, are you gonna close or not? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you changing the goalposts because Haliburton got a different style of game.
Right.
He's not necessarily giving you 30 a night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of corny, man. Like I mean, we already been known that the NBA commentary and all these shows and stuff are like washed.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where I just be laughing at the way they be trying to talk about Haliburton. Like, yo, this dude is getting it done, taking his team to the finals now. Like, it's insane, bro. Like, they really not watching the game.
Yeah.
They're looking at the paper and saying, dang, this guy not a superstar. Like, come on, man, let's be serious.
They're trying to find clickbait. So you think he's a superstar?
I mean, to me, like, by the definition of what, like, they're trying to say on, like, ESPN, no. But for my definition, which is a dude that in the playoffs, he's going to give you his best basketball, that's a superstar to me. And that's Haliburton to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, bro. Like, it goes back to the Harden argument, bro.
Right.
Harden is a superstar. He got the highlight reel. He got the accolades. He got all these trophies, dog. But a game 7 or even just, random spots in a playoff series, he goes silent, bro. He plays like the 9th guy on the bench, bro. It's like, do you really want that guy?
Right.
Or do you want Tyrese Haliburton that's going to get you there?
Yeah. I wouldn't say Tyrese is a superstar because there's a certain consistency. There's, he's done it, but it's like once or twice we need to see. It's got to be more than just this one little run. You feel me?
Yeah.
There's a certain consistency because, especially with playoffs, there's a certain amount of, and I'm not saying he's lucky, but there's a certain amount of luck. There's a certain amount of just everything got to be lined up, right? A certain sync. So I definitely think he's a star. I think there's a certain amount of consistency. So a little bit more you need to add to the resume in terms of a year or two.
Word.
I'm not going to base it on any rings or anything. I just think there's a consistency. Like, okay, cool. You did it this year. Let's do it again next year, and then let's do it again the year after that. There's a certain consistency that comes with that.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah, there's definitely like a certain energy that him and that team bring where it's like they're making sure they're never out of it.
Yeah.
Which is to me like the most impressive thing. Like even with I think they had 19 turnovers at the half, but they was down by like 11 or something like that. Like it was something where they were in the game the whole time. They never even really let it get to like 17, 18, 19, 20. They kept it in that 13, 14 range, 11, 9, 13, 14, you know what I mean? And they get to the fourth quarter, a lot of rotation, so a lot of their guys are fresh, and they really just, bro, the way they closing in these playoffs is insane, bro.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife, and I was telling her how good the playoffs have been this year compared to like before, and she's like, yeah, because she knows because I've been like yelling more. You know what I'm saying? Like I watch a game, I'll be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like there's been so many crazy plays this playoffs. I can't wait to see the compilation they do at the end with all the different stuff because, bro, it was insane.
Yeah,
bro.
they've been
it was
going crazy.
insane. I'm hyped, man, that the NBA is like, I feel like it's back because it was like in a little lull. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I'm enjoying it. Guys they're getting after it.
Yeah, facts.
They still got some tweaks, but
yeah. Speaking of tweaks, you got a lot of coach movement. Even in the last year or two, there's been a lot of coaches that have been fired or, left different places or went to different places. And there's always this argument of like experience with coaches. Should you get a coach with no experience, with experience? What kind of background they should have or whatever. But it's kind of like one of those things where I feel like it's more just obviously knowledge of the game, but your people skills. You know what I mean? Like
that's what a lot
if
of
you
it
got game knowledge and you know how to get through to people, it don't really matter how long you've been doing it.
Yeah.
If you get the opportunity and you're that person, you can make it happen. Like I feel like even and not just basketball, like there's all these sports, and it even just goes to regular jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain jobs that they require certain accolades, but you know that the guy that's been working at that place for 5 years at a lower position could do that position better than anybody else, regardless of the accolades, because he knows the system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where, like, with coaches for me, bro, I could go either way with them, but I could also understand that if you're not a good one, you definitely can get in the way of things / not lead it where it needs to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. I think, but I also think at the same time, they also take a lot of flack. More than they probably should. Yeah, but it's definitely interesting, especially looking around the NBA and kind of seeing some of the guys that they've kind of let go. I'm a Nuggets fan, so us letting Mike Malone go was definitely a head scratcher. But that also kind of shows there's certain things that happen behind the scenes in terms of, certain coaches got to build a certain type of culture. And obviously if the front office is not linked with the coach and they all kind of have the same understanding of that culture, a lot of times there's certain things that obviously we as people who are just spectating probably don't even know about just in general. And that's probably kind of why you kind of see a lot of it bouncing around. Personally, I do think you have to let a coach kind of get in there and really establish themselves. So I definitely agree with you. Somebody that's coming in that's already been there, that already knows the system can do a really good job. But it also depends on that person's personality too. That personality, but then it also depends. Basketball is so tricky. There's a lot of things that has to come together right. Because, that person might have great people skills and all that good stuff too, but then the team got to click right. And the things got to make sense. The type of system that they want to run has to match the players that they have. You can't say you're going to run a gun and shoot threes and can't nobody on the team shoot threes. It don't make sense.
Yeah, there's so many moving pieces on the team and just around the team with, personal coaches, managers, agents.
That's a lot.
Bro, like you said, so many things have to come together. And, like, if you have somebody that can control all these personalities and egos and say, yo, let's lock in for this common goal.
Exactly.
That's the guy that's going to get you there regardless of experience.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like they just got to give coaches chances to do it. Like,
facts.
Popovich had a lot of chances.
Yeah,
even when they weren't good, they didn't get rid of Popovich.
Yeah, I feel like in the NFL as well, like even with players too and players in systems, they're putting certain players in positions where their team is not that good, but they're expecting them to turn franchises around.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, I forgot who said it, and I forgot where I saw it, honestly, man. I know it wasn't my idea, but basically somebody said, where in America do you see somebody that's the top of their field and they pull them and put them at the worst place possible and expect them to make it number one like
Right
in a
away.
year? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to get the number one heart surgeon and put him in the worst hospital and say, yo, make this worst hospital the number one hospital in 1 year. We're not
Right.
going to change nothing. We're just going to add you.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it.
Come
That's
on,
it.
bro.
That's
It's
what
insane,
It's
dog.
nasty.
Yeah,
That's
man.
nasty.
That expectation they be putting on like players and coaches and certain people when they put them in these positions, like it's insane, bro. Like you said, there's so many things that gotta come together, man. That whenever you can make it happen, that's why it's like a once in a lifetime type thing. That's why these people get so emotional because they know this is like a dream come true. You know what I mean?
Right. But especially lately, it's been crazy because you could do everything right and still get fired.
Facts. You could, bro. So many championship coaches have gotten fired for NFL and NBA, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. They'll win a championship, a year or two later they gone.
Right.
It's wild, bro. But yeah, man. Speaking of winning a championship and then it's gone, man. We were talking before about the music stuff. Russ did an interview and he basically said that one of his songs that he had got a sample on, he didn't get the song cleared. And basically getting the song clear means that you ran it through the person that you got the sample from. You said, hey, I'm going to use a little piece of your song here.
Right.
Here's some money for me to use it.
Right.
He didn't do that. Forgot to do it. He said probably would have ran him like $5,000 to clear the sample at the time because he didn't clear the sample. And they came back and basically got him for the money that the song made. He ended up paying $850K.
Oh, damn.
Bro. Insane, dog. And it's like, that's one of them things where like when I'm in the studio, I'm trying real hard to cook up something like organic from scratch.
Right.
And sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes you don't make something that's as good. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, bro, if I'm gonna make something and that thing is gonna go crazy,
Right.
I want it to be something that I did. I don't want it to have leaned on somebody for it. I don't want to have to pay somebody for it. It's like, this is my creation, A to Z. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy, man. It's crazy to think about, and it's one of those things too where like sometimes when you're a lower level artist, who do you even reach out to clear a sample?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if
That's
you're
true.
just a guy, if you're me in my studio, like, oh man, I really want to use this Usher sample. Let me
Who do I
get in
ask?
contact with Usher. Like, bro,
Right.
it's not gonna happen, though.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like, man, sometimes you got to take that chance and take that initial L.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always feel like, because I always equate it to school. You know what I mean? Like, some people don't go to college, and some people say, oh, I'm not about to go into that debt. Cool. But if you're gonna be successful, you're gonna go into that debt somehow.
Some way, somehow.
It might not necessarily be exactly money. It might not, it might not be the same way that the college is, but you're still gonna pay that price.
Yeah.
Anything that's worthwhile, that's gonna get you to that next level,
Yep.
you're gonna pay a price. If it's a big student loan, if it's 10 years of suffering, if it's whatever it is, bro, it's gonna tax you regardless.
Yeah, one way or the other, you got to get your whooping.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's
gotta get
that's
your
the
whip in.
best way to say it, man. And speaking of allegedly getting your whooping, man, Timbaland announced that he started this entertainment company where it's AI basically, and he announced the first artist is an AI artist called Tata. So it's not even a real artist, just an AI that he created, right?
That's crazy.
Now, like the little subculture in music, the rumblings are Timbaland had a beat app that he was basically doing collabs and like he kind of sold the beat app on like, yo, this is a place for artists and producers to connect and stuff, this platform, and you have chances to collab with me if you're doing stuff on the app.
Right.
So, his people went there. Then he was doing these live TikTok and like Twitch type reviews of music and beats and stuff. People could pay like $5 or whatever, and they get in the queue, and he's just on live, and he'll just listen to your beats or songs or whatever and give his critiques or whatever.
Right.
Now, a lot of the people are saying that's how he built his AI. Because it's like you need a library of whatever it is,
Yeah.
what the intelligence basically. You need
Yeah.
the intelligence for the AI to use the algorithm to figure out how to make it better, make it quick.
Right.
And it's like, where did you get all this stuff from?
Right.
I mean, he's had a pipeline
Oh,
of
mad
music
stuff.
for years.
Yeah, he definitely was using that shit.
Bro, and it's crazy, dog. Like I don't know the specifics of it. This is all like just what they're accusing and like the tinfoil hat people are saying right now.
Uh-huh.
I'm definitely gonna look into it because it's definitely something where I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like just even scary to think about. Like
Yeah.
that's like a new way to get scammed now because like a lot of artists be, people be telling them this and that and they just be
Yeah.
getting played left and right. And now it's like, damn, you might send your music to somebody and they might just use it for their AI to make a better song, bro.
Yeah. I don't know if the ones that were on the TikTokers or Twitch, I don't know if those were probably used, but I definitely think the ones that he put through
In the app.
Yeah, I think everybody should probably go look at the little terms. It's probably in there.
Yeah,
We're
facts.
using your
Bro,
data.
matter of fact, for the next episode, I'm going to look up all that stuff. I'm going to follow the story because it's like mad interesting to me, obviously, because I make music. But it's like, dang, bro, that's crazy if they're just taking from original artists to just do the AI stuff and then you're cooked and the AI is banking, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of getting your whooping. You got to read the term, but ain't nobody really reading those. They just want
facts.
they just want to get seen.
But it's the same as it's clearing a sample with Russ.
Yeah.
It was just an old school version of reading the fine print, bro.
Exactly.
And he didn't read the fine print, and that's what ended up happening,
Yeah.
though. Like we were saying, man,
Get your whooping.
something is always gonna make you pay the cost, dog,
Yeah,
no matter
always.
what.
Always.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, I just really wanted to get into this NBA stuff. Had a couple little topics to talk about. Shout out Joe, man. He on vacation right now. He had a really crazy week too, man. I'm eager to talk about him and see how that ended up for him because he was going through it, boy. Like nothing serious, but man, he was going through it, dog.
Been one of them ones.
Yeah, man, for real. But man, appreciate y'all checking us out. Appreciate you pulling up, dog.
Shit,
Definitely
appreciate you having me, dog.
save me, my guy. But hey, man, stay butter.
Yeah, yeah.